hydraulic crimper. We're going to use Exaflex Pro cable, which is gym rated cable. We're going to use a ball end. That's called an eyelet, and that's a ferrule. And we're going to make up an equivalent to match, or to kind of roughly match this bought-in cable, which has been manufactured by the original equipment manufacturer. And first thing to do is figure out how much cable to use. So we're going to wrap the cable around this eyelet and finish it up with a ball like that, and crimp it all together with this eyelet. So I'm going to need roughly this amount of cable. So first thing I'm going to do is just mark off. First thing to do is I need a new blade. This is the most important thing. With a Stanley knife, you must have a new blade. And I change the blades after every cable. And I'm just going to score the cable where I want the sheath to come off. The sheath is really tough. But although it looks as though I might damage the cable underneath like this, I won't, because it's a real tough cable. And then I'm going to hold it like this. Now, someone I was training actually showed me this. They said, "John, why don't you do it this way?" And I thought it was such a good idea. I borrowed it and claim it as my own now. Let's get that end off there. That's it. Okay, there we are. So, because the sheath is still quite tough, I still can't get that off yet. So what I'm going to do is just split it on the other side by going down it. That will give me two sort of tails to pull. So that I should be able to split. There we are, just like that. And that gives me something to grip onto, so I can do that. And it breaks off, and that leaves me with the cable end now to make up. So first thing is, I'm going to put the ball on. With these particular balls, there's a nylon insert there. The nylon insert is there because it's to go up against the eyelet, and it's to stop the rubber from splitting. So I want to make sure that that goes on the way that's going to face the eyelet. Let's just pop that over. What I need to try and maintain all the time, and you'll see why in a minute, is this end. I don't want this end to sort of be fraying out and becoming messy. So that's the ball on, so we can forget that for the moment. Then I'm going to get the ferrule. The ferrule is going to pass down through like that. And then I'm going to create a loop. And this is where you want the end to be nice and intact, because by this point, if this end is frayed, it gets very difficult and potentially very painful for your thumbs and fingers as you try and push that through, because the sharp ends are really, they'll puncture your skin without any trouble at all. Let's just rotate that bit. There we are. It's just getting stuck on the edge of the sheath there, so I'm just going to back it up a little bit. Just allow that to go through. There we are, that's it. Put my eyelet in. And at this point, I'm getting ready to crimp, so I want to get this as tight as I possibly can. So the technique I use for that is just give it a bit of a pull, bit of a jiggle, bit of a pull, bit of a jiggle, bit of a pull. And each time you do that, you're just helping the cable seat nicely in the eyelet there. Because you don't want the eyelet to drop out after it's made, so you want that as tight as you can make it, really. That's good. Then with the right tools, so I've got the right tools in already. This is 3.5mm aluminium. They're designed for aluminium, which this is what the ferrule's made of. And it's a hydraulic crimper, so I'm going to close up the valve in the crimper to start with, make sure that's locked. The first crimp I'm going to do is going to be close to this edge here. So ordinarily you'd think I'll just crimp it in the middle, but I'm not. I'm going to crimp it over this edge, and you'll see why in a sec. So to do that, I need to position it in my tool. I'm going to go about there, about halfway. Okay, just like that. And then we'll crimp that up. So I'm past the point now where I'm not going to be able to take this apart anymore. And we'll go to the valve pops. So lean down into it, pop. There's the valve gone. So I know that I'm at the limit of the tool, which is my consistency. There's the crimp there. The reason I've done that is because I want to chop this end off now. Now this is looking after itself and I don't need my fingers there to keep it tight anymore. I can now snip off that end. I'm going to get as close as I possibly can to the end of the ferrule, but not nick the black plastic, just like that. And I've got these little bit sharp edges sticking out here, so this is the reason I've left this bit uncrimped, because for the second operation I'm now going to squeeze that, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to grow the metal out this way and it will kind of help protect those sharp edges. So let's do that. So again, lock the tool up and we can put it in now like that for the next side, and then we'll crimp it. There's the valve going, and that's tidied that up nicely. So you can see, you still can see the ends, but they're not that sharp anymore. And in fact, I'm going to crimp it one more time just to make sure. And always I'm crimping it in the same direction. Never rotate it and crimp, because you'll weaken the joint. It's always the same way. This time let's just see if we can just squash that down a bit more. Pop. That's fine, so that's okay. Now the only other thing I have now, I've got these little sort of ears sticking out, which are the residue of the metal where it's gone between the tool. So I'm just going to tamp those in ever so slightly. So again, use the tool with that, and I'm just going to go, not really applying any pressure, just give it a bit of a tap in. So I'm not actually crimping, I'm just using the tool to squeeze those ears in. That's it. Of course, you could file them off. There's all sorts of ways you could do that, but that's quite easy. And that is nice and smooth, nice and safe. I can slide my ball back like that. The ball slides over and covers all those bits anyway, and hides my good work, but there you go. That's
awesome.
The end.
Right here.